In 2024, AI is transforming pharma marketing. AI analyzes vast amounts of data, uncovering insights to shape effective marketing strategies. AI enables personalized customer engagement, delivering the right message at the right time. AI optimizes marketing campaigns in real time. AI assists in content creation, providing data-driven insights and innovative ideas. As AI evolves, its impact on pharma will lead to more effective and personalized strategies. I am excited to help you innovate your presentations and breathe new life into the pharma field with artificial intelligence. Discover more about how AI is transforming pharma marketing.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for those who are with us today. So, as you may notice, it's me, Nataliya Andreychuk, co-founder and CEO of Viseven, and we are here to continue and to set up a very good tradition for the next year. We are aware about how popular the latest edition of a webinar about AI for pharma was. And we have a good news, straightforward, that we decided to create a very big step before Christmas and set up a series of webinars throughout the entire 2025, which will be devoted to AI experience for pharma with different business cases, with different user cases, and so on. So I have the amazing guests today, the amazing co-founders of these webinars, and they are co-founders of ctcHealth company. And let me introduce Thomas Mrosk and Manuel Mitola. So guys, welcome to this virtual room and tell us about yourself.
Thank you very much, Nataliya. So, I mean, first of all, it's a pleasure, and of course, I think it will be also, let's say, I hope it will be also good news for those who will be attending this webinar, and also the webinar that we will prepare for 2025. And the big difference will be that all the webinar will have a very practical and tangible use case sharing. The idea, let's say, is to give, of course, we have done a lot in the past around inspiration. So we said, okay, AI is a big transformational power and so on, but this series of webinar will be tackling precise use cases. So we will share things that will be addressing specific pain point and so on. And we really hope that what will also make the difference will be also the guests that we will invite, and also the engagement from the people that will join. So that's I'm very looking forward to it. From my side, my name is Manuel Mitola, and I am a co-founder, partner, and head of AI consulting at ctcHealth. I come from Pharma. I have a marketing background within pharmaceutical industry in omni-channel marketing, truly passionate about AI and truly passionate about practical application of AI. And together with me today, there is also my partner in crime, let's say like that, Thomas Mrosk, that is the other co-founder of ctcHealth. And so, Thomas, I leave you the stage for introducing yourself.
Well, thanks a lot, Manuel and Nataliya. It's a pleasure to be here. And I hope for everybody who's listening to that, you're on the right track, because AI is definitely going to change and transform the way how we work. And this is, by the way, to my background, the story also where I left corporate after 20 years to be at the forefront of this. And I'm also very pleased on this because we talked to many of you on the other side and trying to help you sort out how can you leverage AI on this. And this series is going to be pragmatic use cases, because that's the number one question we're getting from pharma peers is, all right, help me understand. I get it, fourth industrial revolution, etc. But in my day-to-day life, how can I leverage AI? We understand there is many things that need to be thought through. And this is what the series is really about, is making it as pragmatic as useful for you guys in your day-to-day job to understand where could you leverage AI. And there's so much you can do. Life is going to be so much more work, so much more interesting and fun with that. So I'm very pleased to be here. And yeah, why don't we kick right into it, Nataliya?
Yes, exactly. I think we are going to have to give AI a crash test, right? So that's how we are going to bring it. So that's, like many of us are thinking that AI actually reached its highest level and there is no potential left to develop. So there are different ideas on this behalf. However, we all know that we are only in the beginning of the journey. What would you say about how do you feel? Is AI adoption already reached its complete potential? What are the reasons behind this thinking that people think that AI will be exhausting itself in the near future? We are really there. So, what do you think about that?
I can start with this.
Good, Manuel.
So yeah, so well, I think AI has already reached its peak and now it can only decrease. I'm of course joking. So,
Hopefully.
so no, of course. I mean, I really believe that I mean AI, especially in pharma, at the moment we are just scratching the surface. So, and the reason why is because basically when it comes to pharma, we always hear pharma is a risk-averse industry. Pharma is reluctant, so pharma is, let's say, uh, not there yet in terms of innovation and so on. And I think this is partially true somehow. But on the other side, I also believe that, I mean, pharma is also one industry that and I think also one of the few industry that has a direct impact on people's lives, meaning that, of course, it cannot compromise on any risk. So AI, of course, is something that comes with a lot of promise, a lot of potential, but also with a lot of unknown, a lot of question marks. So why I'm saying that pharma is only scratching the surface of AI, because before, let's say, doing an all-in into the AI, pharma needs to have full clarity, needs to have all the SOPs, needs to have, let's say, everything in place. And this is something that takes time. So you also have two speeds. On one side, you have the technology that goes at the speed of light. On the other side, you have pharma that, of course, require time because the guardrails are very important. So I don't think we are in a moment where AI has already, let's say, delivered what it was promising, and I think it will come, but it will require time. So I think there is still a lot of room for investigating and finding
That's
new
true.
cases.
That's true.
I can only agree with that, guys. I also believe we are only scratching the surface at best here. Now, having said that, pharma is all about innovation, and it should be one of the first industries jumping on it, and it does. If we go back to the Nobel Prize this year, right, it was basically going to Google DeepMind with AlphaFold, and if we go into the R&D space, this is often in our commercial teams, which is not that visible. It is deeply transformative, and it's gonna enable a completely new class of medicines coming up in the future. Now, when we look at our day-to-day lives, I'm totally with you guys. There's a lot of reasons why it is in pharma. Pharma is probably still lagging behind, but I'm convinced they're going to catch up. They're going to do the things the right way. They're going to make it a safe way. They're going to make it a compliant way. And we're going to touch many of the reasons why it takes a bit of time. If you cannot, and again, as Manuel was saying, we're talking about patients, right? So you want to have the right diligence behind. There's no room to make mistakes. So that's why it's probably going to take a bit of time. But the pharma sector certainly is going to be one that is going to be most impacted by it. Also want to add to this discussion, I think one of the other reasons is the unprecedented speed, and that itself has a lot of challenges for organizations, be it in pharma or in other areas, to upskill their workforce. And we're talking to a lot of people, from senior leaders to brand teams. It is striking and surprising how different the level of AI literacy is and the understanding is. And if we don't have that understanding, we'll never see the potential. We'll not see the risk, and we're not going to be champions on bringing this technology in. On the other hand, if I'm listening into investors call, I don't think there's one CEO on the planet today that hasn't made it a priority. So that's what we think, or I agree with you guys. I think here we're just scratching the surface, and that's why those series that we're doing here are needed to help people understand, give me the tangible use cases where AI is going to help me in my day-to-day job. And this is what we're going to do. All right, back to you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we will be seeing in these webinars we are setting up today a lot of different cases, and I think we will be trying to solve most painful problems. And I think what can be more painful than in our marketing space than approval, then we are losing a lot of time for medical and legal approval. So what do you think about that? So shall we go that direction?
We love approvals.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was about to ask you a question, actually, Thomas and Nataliya as well, because I mean, one of the things that I was mentioning before, the guardrails, all the things, I mean, of course, pharma has a direct impact on people's lives. Also, when it comes to promotional activities, sales and marketing, and one of these guardrails that are very important is actually also the title included in the title of this webinar is related to the MLR. And the MLR is one of, let's say, of the pain point on one side, but also on the other side, one of the most important things to ensure the safety of the pharma communication. So when I, let's say, do training to marketeers and so on, one of the things that I always hear is, yes, Manuel, I mean, I can use AI to produce a lot of content, fine, but then I will have a tons of content to approve, and then my MLR will become a bottleneck. So let's say the question that I have to you guys, I mean, what do you think in terms of, let's say, overcoming these MLR inefficiency? What would mean, let's say, in terms of enabling the pharma companies to stay competitive in terms of, let's say, market dynamics and so on? So if we are able to overcome this MLR inefficiency, what does it would mean for the pharma companies? So. And this is a question for you, Thomas, Nataliya. I would like to hear your opinion.
From my perspective, it will mean a lot. And this disruption will fix a lot of uncertainty around how we are accelerating with omni-channel communication, how much personalization we can use, how faster we will be delivering the important information to our recipients. I want also to be more disruptive today, and instead of just talking about MLR, I would like to start sharing my screen and showing the like disruption in action, right? So I would like to share my screen, and please let me know if you can see the big screen,
we can see.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. So and talk about a little bit about what we have done in order to work with the MLR as the technology, right? From the technology side, because we know, like, we are talking about AI and how we can adopt AI in our real life, but we understand that there are different types of AI, and if we want to really disrupt such a big question as MLR, we need to think about rules, what type of sources we can use to validate those rules, how AI could be trained in terms of those rules. And like MLR process of every organization is unique, how our AI model can adjust to this organization. So here let's see briefly my library in eWizard, which is our tool for content offering and content management. And we can see those signs, 38% in red, 100% in green, no sign at all, 3% in red. There is also a yellow sign, would be if there will be something around 50%. So what does it mean? It means the score. We have invented a score which is based on the approvability of the asset. Where we arrived to this idea, that every brand manager, beyond the asset to be ready and delivered by the agency, would like to know how approvable is it? What type of the mistakes or inconsistencies must be hidden over there, even before the MLRI will check it properly. So basically, we can start and see something which is already here. And available, and available for the approval. So let us check how it's easy or not easy to see the approvability level. First of all, there is a very small button which you can push, validate, and really start validation of something. You can see here is the progress. The system under the hood is connected to your MLR approval system and the bunch of rules. We will be talking about it later if you had the questions over there. So it's connected to the system and the MLR validation is started, and the percentage is over there. You can ask me a question: what is under this? The item is updated, it's still 88%. I want to see immediately what is building this percentage, what is in there. So why it's 38, not 50 or something else? And there you can see the very, very interesting picture. So do you want me to explain, or do you have the questions?
From my go ahead, Thomas.
No, I think first of all, this is awesome. And believe it or not, we're going to have this afternoon a workshop with a client, and this is exactly what this is about. This is about ideation, right? And this client is going to go for a global campaign, and we all know how much time we're losing when we have great ideas. We're starting with claims, but we do not know are they actually provable in the different regions. So I'm really keen to understand, because if that works, Nataliya, that's going to save us a lot of time right from the start. So how do we get there? Help us understand exactly what we see. How do we get to the percentages? How can we put the rules in there? And they're different from geography to geography. So I'm really curious to see that.
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, let me explain what you can see in the left panel over the screen. So every block is responsible for the part of the image or the header you can see on the right side email. Now we are MLRing the email, so you can hide all the comments and see it, hide the label, see it normal and nice, or you can check it and make it again visible and see everything what goes wrong and right. So you can see that every image is showing what was verified, what was not approved or approved. So the red signs and unverified things are showing us that this exactly first logo was not verified. That means that it was stored in the digital asset management system, but the imager itself wasn't approved for use. So then you can see something which is on the very same part of the image, but grammatically, text is grammatically correct. So we do not have here the button, but we have here the other problem. There are no references used. So you see, these rules they could be checked, all of them, they are connected to very concrete key message in your digital asset management system, and you can really check them through, and this cross linkage is working. So by closing the link, you will be directed to your approval system and will be seeing exactly what message and why was approved. However, a wizard is giving you the cherry on the cake, they're giving you already the understanding. You know, there is a good question from Thomas about the rules. So the rules are very important, and at this very moment we are not checking too many. We do have some set of rules here of what we are checking. We are checking the references, so this is very important, so that we are first of all, we want to understand if the references were used and tied to the claims, and they were appropriately used in this email. So under the hood, what AI is doing, they are checking within the approved document. So if the references were appropriately installed into this very email, and if the references, numbers, and linkage is working correctly. So if this is working correctly and exists, so you are not to worry. Then we are checking the previous approval. So if the image or the claim or anything from entire set of the approvable asset was pre-approved before, so that would be seen over there. Or if there wasn't approved, so it will be seen over there. Then we have a verification. Verification means so that we can verify the image and the message for violence, for any inappropriate things in this. So this is very important because, and this is necessary because, you know, we are not only taking the statuses from digital asset management system, but we are also using the recognition engine to make sure that we can recognize the problem and on the early stage, and do not push this asset into the further to verification of the human, to make sure we are not really falling apart if somebody says something inappropriate. Then we do have the grammar check, of course, if grammatically correct sentences, wording, we are checking that. Then we have the modification. So we check if this image was modified after the approval or message or anything on this in this exact email was modified after the approval was granted. This modification will be tracked, and if modification wasn't approved, so that would be also highlighted. So it's very interesting because we are, you see, like we do have text, module, images. Very soon we'll be having videos. So I think it's coming in March release, the videos. And you can see the results we are showing here. The status is compliant, non-compliant, requires attention. And we're also highlighting it with the color coding so that you can understand what type of problem you have here.
Yeah.
These rules are switchable. So you can switch on and switch off the rules and improve your, like, I call it cheating. So if something not a grand importance for this exact thing, so you can, by switching off the rules, you can see that your approvability score is moving up.
So we get a green.
Yeah. We can go to green and greenish, so like you can see this type of the example where I have actually what I have done very easy. I switched all the score and I received 100% of banner, which is not even ready, that it is an approvable asset, just to show you that by switching the rules for every block of this banner, I will see that the score of this approvability will be going to nearly 0%, because anything what is correct is here is only grammatically built sentences, and then the validation will be switched and you will see that the score will be not more than 3 or 4%. So that's exactly what is happening now. Then the validation is the revalidation is in process. So what the system is doing, the system is searching for the very same burner in the digital asset management tool, which might be a problem because I have just created this burner for these exact purposes. So without finding the exact match, it can see my scores are exactly poor.
Very
This is
cool.
pretty cool.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead, Manuel.
And Natalia, just a quick question. So in terms of, let's say, the status that I can see, so where can I see, let's say, I mean, at quick glance, the statuses of approval, I mean, of the material? Because if I am a marketeer, of course, I will have many items. So where can I see all the material that are approved in approval and so on?
Yeah. You see, now now I have started this demo from the library, but there is the above library, the bigger library of the asset, which is goes beyond the library of my working cabinet, because I have started with the role as a marketeer. I have seen my library and I can really see only what I was working on, but there is the bigger library like Navigate. Navigate is the bigger library for everything in your organization. So it can be synced with different sources you want to sync with, and the statuses. So like the channels, there are a lot of there's the possibility to have the brands distinguishing the channels, the content packs. So you can build portfolios. You can make sure that you can different types of media, and you can see that there is like the approvability, not even approvability. You can see different statuses within that. So you can see the expiration, draft, approved, non-approved status, and even more. It seems like this is highly configurable library,
very cool.
which is connected to your approval system and will be grabbing the status of where you are with this exact asset. We have clients who are using right now the third generation of this Navigate. So it means like they are with us more than 10 years, and they have started, like you see this now, there are more cool features coming, and we will have the dashboard of the interface very soon to show even more traction with your content. But some of our clients are using this library like for 10 years because they do have a very cool feature where they can, if they have the the really approved thing. So what they can do here, they can not only to view that, they can share it and publish and export directly out of the system. It means like they can set up the rules which are allowing not just to see things and see the statuses, but also just to export in different formats to make sure that I can co-work with someone on that. So I can build something bigger and cooler with it. I can upload the newer version if I need and share with my agencies. I can ask for localization without even taking care about creating a brief. The system will make a copy automatically out of this and send it to localization to someone else. Ask for update the very same, make a copy to my library, go into library where we have been. We have been in the library, right? We have started this journey in the library. But as you asked, there is the bigger library for entire organization to work with, right? So
I was thinking, Natalia, when you were presenting the library, I think, and Thomas, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it could be a life changer for those who are working into the global teams, because I was thinking about my experience into global teams with a lot of material produced centrally that of course can be and have to be approved centrally, but then must be reapproved at local level. So these kind of things, and Natalia, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but basically, if you can have this kind of things that is saying, okay, at this level you approve these pieces and you are sending it at local level, and they receive something that is already highlighting the pieces that have been already, let's say, reviewed with a, let's say, a score of probability or attention that they have to put at the local level, I think this could be, let's say, streamlining a lot the process of localization. And this is something that could increase a lot and speed up a lot also the localization process. Yeah.
Yeah, and if we will be back to this MLR and open MLR function, so like what is available, what is non-standard in here? So regarding localization and regarding this small tiny thing, if I need to edit something, I can jump directly to the editing section. So like I have here the highlight, and by pushing this button, I am jumping to editing section directly. And what I'm doing here, I press the edit button, and I already opened it. I opened it twice, yeah. And I'm in the editing section. And here exactly, I'm just by pushing twice, I am editing. You see, it's easy.
Yeah,
so I am starting
great.
to this editing process. I can add something. I can already make sure I can add even the metadata if I want, and I have this I can preview what I have done. I can translate directly here. You can see this translation, and you can see the updated translation. So there are a lot of possibilities directly from MLR to editor. And then once it's done, so you can see this is the magic AI generator. If I, at some point, if I'm out of the ideas, right, and I need to generate so here is, I can already prompt, and I can generate the Forteris message. Okay, I will just diabetes as an example. So I can try to diabetes is a chronic medical condition, whatever. It's generating where it gets the information from. It gets the information from FDA's website. It gets the information from approved sources of the client. So because there is a huge libraries from where this Gen AI can take things and generate and help me. Here we have already recommendation engine. If I need to put anything into the subject line, the system is recommending me what to do and how. So and here is like the chatbot and the comments with somebody online if I'm totally lost. So we have all scenarios possible, from totally AI friendly to totally lost and please save me. So I can comment,
Nice.
I can go and I can seek this help, and I can have this chart, and you can see I'm here and there is a chatbot. Please, what do you need?
And maybe we will need it, Nataliya, because we are receiving already a lot of questions into the chat. So maybe we will need some help at
Really?
once.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to use AI to answer.
No,
We need to
let's see.
generate the answer. Who knows how
Yeah.
FDA will react on the questions?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
our
Before we go
approved
there,
source.
yeah. But this is exactly, I mean, this is amazing. So I want us to drill down a bit more, is what Manuel was saying, because in my daily practice, I think there's one of the questions going that direction also, because you have a box already with options. So, but if I'm a global marketeer and I need to fine tune a bit more the framework against what to approve per geography, how much, I mean, this is new technology. This is evolving very fast, what has been set up here. But how much freedom do I have today versus, you know, the framework that Viseven provides today?
You mean with the approval from global to
Yes,
local? If
for
we
exactly. If we pick up the use case Manuel was just
Yeah,
expressing.
that's totally a crash test, right? So then we have to understand. So like we have another overarching library, so which means planner. Well, I'm a global marketeer, and what I have different campaigns, right? So with the costs, with the different assets, with the you see, like we have a lot of assets, we have a lot of different channels, we have the responsible people, and we have the timelines, right? So if I will be this global marketeer, I will pick up this target asset I have for my new campaign, right? So,
Yep.
and I would really drive it through the setup I have. So my library would be set up in the different way, because then as a global marketeer, I would set up the global and regional libraries. So to make sure that the rules which are applicable globally can be also introduced on the local level. How I will understand what the content is on the global level, again, this will be taken from the campaign planning, because you can see I can deep dive to the exact asset in very different positions to any campaign I have. So I can go to the every asset. Normally these assets are leading us to the digital asset management system, where we have seen the statuses and we can follow the statuses over there. So we have this overarching tool which allows us to plan from global to local campaigns. So and see also the statuses. So that, like, it is a demo. I have chosen the campaign for training session, and this e-detailer I have chosen, and I can see that the status is brief. So probably too early to check anything. Once it will be ready for review, I think I will be dragging it to the regional, to the global library, and will check through the MLR whenever it is approvable. So it's the set of the of the rules are absolutely can be administrated from global to local. But here we can have the access to the content as well.
That's
That is
very
amazing.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, Nataliya, you answered also partially the question from Carolina in the chat, that she's saying if, let's say, basically the rules can be adapted to the business needs of the company. So just to confirm, and I mean, if you can confirm this, if my understanding is correct, Nataliya, so basically there is the possibility to customize the rules, but please.
Yes, here what you can see, these 5 rules and this naming, like this naming are very like high level of the rules. It's top of the top. So we have just named them because we have put a certain logic into this rule, like a standard logic, like how we check references. We just put very simple rules, like we are checking the connection to claims, we're checking the existence, we're checking due to the document which is in the digital asset management tool. However, Carolina absolutely right that these references check could be advanced. So that's what I mean, that the MLR review from company to company is not the same, because how the company A is checking their references might be not the same comparing to company B, how they're checking their references. So that's why under the hood of this reference rule, this is very the configuration from customer to customer could be customized. And you see, this is, we can also switch off, switch on the rules. So what we are going to do in the future, we are going to develop more and more generic rules to make sure like we are going and hearing our customers, and we add more rules which make our tool just better. And we may add more assets, like video is coming, like banner, like the others, like banner is there, so banner is the image, you see image. It's okay, it's just the naming. Like, we are developers, never good in naming, don't expect it from us. So that's not a joke, this is the truth. So that's why the assets will be added and the rules will be extended.
Thank you very much, Nataliya.
Oh, I'm
Very
glad
good.
I managed to answer the question.
And thank you, Carolina, for asking the question.
Great. Now, this is, I mean, again, right, we looked at the use case from if I'm a global marketeer, but I also think what you're just showing is the future, right? The moment AI would enable us marketeers, hyper-personalization of any message, there's going to be a tremendous volume of hyper-personalized content that needs to be approved. And I think that technology is the enabler that will allow us to do that. And that's, I think, in the jargon of AI, this is not a must-have AI. This is game-changing AI. Companies who will adopt this will have a big advantage in personalizing. Not only will they gain speed, but they will be able to personalize and handle that big volume to bring value to clients. This is a really good foundation. All right.
I hope so.
And
I hope so. What I want to add, Thomas, that very important to receive all of this within the same interface. Because
Yep.
today we have, like, when we are talking about end-to-end process, and we want to make sure like all of our tools for content lifecycle across content life cycles are in complete harmony, and they are really synchronized. So this is so important that we are not jumping from one tool to another, that we do have, here is the example of
Yeah.
how technology can be cooperative and work together and give to the client a seamless experience. Because from one side you have a wizard, from another side you have MLR tool, from the other side you have
Yeah.
a regulation website, some
Yeah.
networks with the approved materials, and you can conversational AI on the other side, plus you have ML somewhere with the suggestions. So this is a very nice symphony of the technology, how they are working together, actually.
Nataliya, we
Yeah.
have a comment. We
Oh,
have a comment in the chat. This is not a question, but it is a comment and maybe a suggestion. The comment made me make me also jealous, let's say, because the
oh
comment
no.
says greetings from Mexico. So from the sunny Mexico makes me very jealous at the moment. So this comment is from Alonso. And Alonso is saying, I think it would be a break point if these MLR, CRM, and other tools to manage content include AI also for content and deliver message to patients also, not only to HCP. So I think this could be some food for thought also for thinking about the next step and the evolution of the tools. So this was not a question, was more a comment, but guys, do you have any comment to reflection on top of Alonso
my immediate
reflection?
reflection that this is a growth path where we will have a web channel as a web asset, like a website. And when we will be going to the website, I think this is just a matter of time when we will be able to include this, MLR for the information for patients. So that means like we need to unlock one more asset, which is web channel and web page. So then, and that's again the set of rules and the set of algorithms we need to set up for our AI, and it will be working. But this is thank you, because this is how we will be growing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Nataliya, I mean, now we get a grasp of the acceleration that this can offer us. Have you guys did any, do you guys have any measurements or use cases? I'm just curious to hear organization, this is new technology, but it started to adopt this already. What is sort of the saving in time you can get with that?
You know what we have done already, and we're like, Viseven and our endless story. Take your modular content for a journey, create your omni-channel, and make sure everything is reused, repurposed, and automated. This is a very old song of Viseven, so everyone knows it. I don't want to tire our audience, but so what we are doing here, that's exactly this amazing path while we are creating content that we can save the time by editing exactly in the very same moment we can see the problem, right? So that we can edit that. And some of our customers are already using this because if they see the immediate problem, like missed reference, whatever, they save tons of time because from one side they do not push the uncooked asset to the MLR and saving their time. From
Yep.
the other part, they are also saving time on communication with developers and the agency. If it's just a minor thing, it will take 1 minute, 2 minutes, even 10 or half an hour. This is still a lot of time saving because going back and forth with the agency communication can take your
Oh yeah.
entire day,
Oh yeah.
right? So that's what could happen. So that's why these small things, like we have been talking about small things in the beginning, these small little things, they are saving a lot of time. And on the other side, we do have a lot of products which need just marketing review. You can imagine that we are also working with cosmetics, with beauty stuff. So where the marketing review is enough. So with the rules we already set, so you can run your marketing review with it, and you can be
Yep.
pretty confident that the tool like AI validated it's fine. And with the time, using it again and again, it's becoming better and better.
Yep.
So
Yep.
because it got these cases and it's recognizing the problem faster. So that's how it is. So we can really save time right now. But this is not the exhausted potential. No. So we are not exhausted. So we do have a lot of things which we need still to do.
Yeah.
And
Scratching the surface, as you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, by the way, this could become also a competitive advantage for a company. Let's say if they are able to train, let's say, this kind of solution, the more they fine tune it, the more they will be fast in approving, the more the speed to market and so on. And Nataliya, we are receiving a lot of questions into the chat. So in the interest of time, I think we could, I give you another question from the chat. We have again Carolina, and this question is more, let's say, technical and related to the navigate functionality. And
Yeah.
Carolina is asking, can we connect it to Promomat or digital asset management tool, for example? So, what kind of integration are available?
We are always using the API integration, the standard protocol, which allows us to exchange completely like a standard way to exchange the data. So the push and pull is available. So the integration is there. So we're using the standard protocol, and we are very, very much agnostic. The Promomats, yes. The other systems, so like if some of our customers are using beyond, so there are different digital asset management systems. I don't want to make any promotion here, but the secret is we have over 100 of integrations.
Thank you very much.
Navigate is an integrated solution, right?
Thank you, Nataliya. And we have another question in the anonymous chat, so I don't know who to say thanks. But this question I would like to ask you, Thomas. And Nataliya, of course. So I would like to see your opinion. So What do you consider to be the key factors to consider when selecting an AI partner for MLR validation? So, and how can we ensure their solution are the right fit for our specific needs? And I would like to ask your opinion from, let's say, from let's say Viseven standpoint, but also Thomas, from your experience in the pharmaceutical leadership in terms of marketing. I mean, what was your experience as well? So maybe you can start, Thomas, considering, so we give a little bit of time to Nataliya to
Of course,
To
this
think.
is a great question, and I hope it's not coming from Mexico because I'm really jealous about this. So here's, if I would be on your end, what's the first thing to look at is understanding if you're in a company, understanding your AI policies, your AI environment, and your openness with whom you can work. I think that's the number one thing you want to do. It is, for me, this is not a question, if you need this technology. It's just a question, how fast can you get it? But it needs a lot of alignment there. So I don't know, if you're a small affiliate, you want to understand, right? And Viseven is a global partner here. What initiatives are already ongoing? Where do you want to start? Because you don't want to duplicate. And I think we're going to talk a bit about this. Cybersecurity is a big point to look at. The other thing also what we need to talk about is still in the times that we have left is, what I like about this is accelerating, it's leveraging AI, but it's human in the loop, right? At the end of the day, the human is always going to be the decision maker. And I'm saying this because many organizations, what we hear today, there's still fear of, AI is is predictive mathematics. So it can make mistakes. So how do we deal with this? What's the appetite to integrate this? So I think those are all discussions you want to have. Again, in this case, we're talking to a big player that is nicely embedded already. So I think you're in a good set to start the discussions with Viseven, how to integrate it. Will you get it tomorrow? Probably not. It may take a bit of time, and you want to do it the right way. So, but I'm keen to hear from Nataliya. You have if you work with several clients on this already. So yeah, if I want to get it tomorrow, what do we need to do?
Yeah, that's a very good question because first of all, you shouldn't be afraid of pilots, right? So because what we need to do, we need to be not scared to pilot a new thing. And the other thing, how to understand that this is your true partner in crime to incorporate AI. So first of all, there should be always the focus on the hybrid approach where we have human in the loop, and we have the a symphony of technologies, what I would say. So there shouldn't be kind of the monopoly of one interface and one solution, because this is something we need to think about. So to make sure that, of course, every vendor must have this responsibility. There is a cybersecurity versioning and the other things, but what we need to make sure that the solution is scalable and there is the possibility to integrate quite agnostically with the other solutions on the market, because we have a lot of tasks to do. I can see also Joe Falcone has in this chart, so that we need not only to have it for now, we need continuously to train AI on previous materials. So we need to be connected to digital asset management system. We need to be connected to MLR sources. We need to be connected to the validation sources, to the regulatory documentation. So to make sure that in every country, we have this new set of documentation we have to review every time we push the new material. The other thing, like, we need to be really configurable. There must be the architecture of the solution, which is not really hard coded, or there might be not just microservices. There might be must be the architecture which allows to switch different widgets to accelerate, to provide this robust and advanced technology experience. This is all of this together will make a very good KPIs for partner.
I think that is great. And Nataliya, you guys are always open because you mentioned the word pilot, and I think that is really important. We understand this is new emerging technology, but this is usually what works best and what we can encourage. Try it out in a safe, small environment. You guys are open for that, right? And as you said, there's other vendors you want to look at the integration, but piloting is certainly something I would much encourage. Get started. Start with a pilot.
Yes, Thomas, exactly. Pilot, experiment,
Yeah.
and like even in this webinar, we come together, ctcHealth and Viseven, just to make sure like we can support, we can consult, we can train, we can give you technology, we can be a pilot for you one day. So we can give it like not a crash test, but a successful case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Nataliya, we have another question, anonymous question, and this question is around the complexity of language, cultural differences, and so on. So the person here is asking, I'm wondering whether AI can handle the complexity of language and cultural differences in global MLR processes, especially for multilingual campaigns.
Yeah, like this is also not an easy question to handle, right? But you know that with AI, so like you can handle it, so you can train models to grasp regional and cultural nuances, like dialects, like local idioms, like any other variations of speech or writing in formal and informal languages. So this is very crucial that we have a combination, right? That we are not saying like, we say if AI is able alone, never. If AI will help us, yes. So us, with the help of AI, we will set up the rules. We have seen the interface and we have seen the example what the rules can do. We will train the model together and we will count on every cultural differences we will have on the road. And this will be us together with AI who will be doing that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good. I think we are almost on top of the hour. We're missing just 4 minutes. Maybe there is one more question. And Thomas, this is something that I think this is close to one of, let's say, your passion, let's say, that it is, of
it
course,
food related?
No, it is people related because you are a great manager and you are a great people oriented leader. So I think you will like this question. So this question is, how can organization balance, let's say, AI automation, let's say, with the need for human expertise in the MLR process specifically, but also generally speaking into the adoption of AI?
So, I mean, I think the first thing we can say to that is you want to understand where your organization is, and you guys who are listening into this, I assume you guys are pretty far ahead. You understand this technology. Again, as we said before, this is not a nice to have, this is a must to have. So the question is, how fast can you get on this? And we discussed at the beginning a bit what we're hearing also, why pharma is probably not the first industry jumping that far on it. They will go on this. But one of the things is, I think on the people side, ensure your people are trained. That's the first thing. Ensure your people understand the technology. You will have just what we saw here, right? This is still compliments to Viseven. You guys jumped on it, right? This is a great use case that was being built up in a very short time. If I think back, where I was in January 24 versus where it is today, it's worlds in between. It goes with a speed that is incredible. That is overwhelming. That is overwhelming for organizations when you're in your day-to-day lives, etc. So I think here, to balance this, I think the number one thing is, right, educate, invest into your people, train them, help them understand how the technology works, give them, also the transparency is important, what we said before, because only then you see that adoption and championship in your organization. And I think the second piece, we briefly talked about this is here to help us. On the one hand side, we had the use case. If I'm a global marketeer, it's amazing. I mean, I just gave it, right? We're going to brainstorm this afternoon for a client here. We can brainstorm ideas globally. And with such a tool, we could at the start already get a hint, what would work, what would be approvable in different regions, and whatnot. This is going to save ages in terms of time. But if we fast forward, the dream of every marketeer is going to come true with AI allowing hyper-personalization of content through automation. So all of this needs to be dealt if we want to get in this. And I love this era because I'm getting the right message, the right information at the right time that is bringing value to me. But in consumer goods, that is easy, right? We don't have all the all the approval chains and all the requirements. In pharma, we do have all of those requirements. So to handle that sheer volume, in my view, it's not going to go without such technology. So again, right, this technology is definitely going to come. But what I want to say is the balance is here. We're still going to have the human in the loop. The human is still going to call the ultimate shots. So it's going to accelerate. It's going to help us prepare for hyper-personalization. But ultimately, we're still in control of that. And that is important, I think, for everybody to know in the organization. It's a helper. It's a super powerful system, but it's not going to call the shots. There's still a responsibility that we have as humans. So I hope that answered the question a bit.
Thank you,
I know it
Thomas.
brings
Absolutely.
us
You did.
right on time.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Good.
Couldn't
We
be
reached out the
better.
hour, Thomas. So Nataliya, back to you for the final words. And I think we are, it's 5. So
Yeah, I want to stay on our promise that the next episode will be definitely defined to the crash test of AI, how we use it in pharma. So please stay with us. We will show you more live demos of different software. We will be showing you different cases of how to really use AI and how stay in, valid in regulated industry, and how still create a communication in very efficient AI empowered way. Please stay with us and you will find out more. So thank you, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone
thank you.
who was with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.